The stars above Observation Station 47 shone like cold fire. Commander Rion Hale stood before the main control screen, his eyes fixed on the data stream flashing across it. For a long moment he said nothing. The readings looked wrong, too wrong. The radar picked up an object moving through deep space, but it didn't behave like anything the Empire had ever seen. It was moving faster than light. He frowned, his gloved hand tightening around the edge of the console. "Run the scan again," he said quietly. The technician hesitated. "Sir, we already did. 5 times. Same result every time." Rion leaned closer. The numbers were impossible. Velocity beyond any known limit, no identification, no communication code, no warp trail, no heat signature. The sensors kept blinking, no ID, no signal, no origin. It was like trying to track a shadow that moved faster than thought. For centuries, the Galactic Empire had ruled the stars. Its technology reached into every known system. They had explored thousands of worlds, fought wars, and built fleets that could destroy moons. Yet nothing had ever moved beyond the speed of light. Nothing, until now. The command room was silent except for the hum of the machines. Officers exchanged worried looks. A few whispered about sensor ghosts or data corruption, but everyone knew. The station's scanners didn't make mistakes. Rion's second-in-command, Lieutenant Mira Solon, stepped forward. "Could it be a weapon test, sir? Maybe one of our own fleets experimenting with new drives." Rion shook his head. "No. The Empire doesn't hide its tests from us. And even if it did, this isn't ours." He looked out through the observation window. Beyond the transparent shield stretched endless black space scattered with white stars. Somewhere out there something was moving, fast enough to break the laws of the universe. The technician suddenly gasped. "Commander, it just changed course." Rion turned sharply. "Direction?" "Heading straight toward us." The words hung in the air like a chill. The command room erupted in noise. "Orders, reports, panic." Rion raised his voice above the chaos. "Calm down. Keep tracking it. Estimate time to contact. 7 minutes, sir." "Maybe less." Rion's heart began to pound. He activated the station-wide alert. Alarms blared through the corridors. Red lights flashed on every deck. The Empire had faced many threats. Pirates, alien uprisings, even rogue AIs. But this was different. This was something unknown. The massive orbital station shifted to defensive posture. Energy shields flared to life. Rail cannons armed themselves. Drone squadrons launched into space like a cloud of metallic insects. "Prepare communication channels," Rion ordered. "Let's try to talk before we shoot." "Yes, Commander." Mira worked quickly, sending encoded signals across all known frequencies. But no one answered. Not a word, not a code, not even static. Only silence. Then the readings changed again. The object had stopped, just outside sensor range. Rion stared at the monitor. "Why stop there?" he muttered. "If it wanted to attack, it already could have." "Sir," Mira said softly. "It's waiting." Rion looked at her. The fear in her eyes mirrored what he felt. Something intelligent was out there, watching them. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. The systems flickered. A strange pulse ran through the station's energy grid like a heartbeat echoing in metal. Then the sound came. Faint at first, almost too soft to notice. Thump, thump, thump. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't static. It was organic and alive. "What is that?" Mira whispered. The technician's voice shook. "It's coming through the long-range comms, sir. It's not interference." Rion stared at the waveform on the screen. The pulse repeated at perfect intervals, matching the rhythm of a heartbeat. He felt a chill crawl down his spine. "Can we trace the source?" he asked. "No, Commander. It's bouncing between channels faster than we can read. It's like it's hiding." The lights flickered again, brighter this time. Every monitor in the room turned black for a second, then words appeared in bold white text across them all. "We see you." A hush fell over the entire station. The officers looked around, terrified. Rion felt his mouth go dry. Who sent that? No one answered. The words faded, replaced by a single image, a cluster of stars rearranging themselves into a shape. It looked almost like an eye. Then the image vanished and the screens returned to normal. Rion took a deep breath. "Record everything. I want every log copied and encrypted." "Already done, sir." For several minutes no one spoke. Only the steady hum of the engines filled the silence. Rion moved to the window again, watching the dark. Somewhere out there something was waiting. something that could outrun light and hide from every scanner. Mira joined him. "Do you think it's alien?" she asked quietly. Rion didn't answer right away. "If it is, it's the first we've seen in a long time. The Empire always believed we were alone. But maybe—" He stopped, eyes narrowing. "Maybe we were wrong." The stars outside shifted slightly. A faint blue glow appeared at the edge of space, flickering like a heartbeat in the dark. "It's powering up again," the technician called out. "Velocity increasing." "No, it's not moving. The space around it is moving." Rion turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "It's bending space, sir. Warping the readings. It's impossible." Rion stepped back, his hand resting on his sidearm even though he knew it wouldn't help. "Get me the fleet. Tell them to prepare for possible contact." As the crew scrambled, the glow grew brighter. The stars around it blurred and stretched. Then, without warning, the light vanished and everything went still. The heartbeat stopped. The signals died. Mira whispered, "Did it leave?" Rion didn't move. "No," he said slowly. "It's still there. It's just watching." The silence pressed down on them, heavy and endless. The Empire had just met something that didn't belong to this universe, and it was only the beginning. Somewhere in the black, unseen by human eyes, the unidentified entity waited, faster than light beyond human reach. And for the first time in his career, Commander Rion Hale felt truly small in the face of the stars. The silence inside Observation Station 47 felt heavier than gravity itself. After the sudden flash of light, nothing had moved, nothing had spoken, and nothing had returned to normal. Every monitor flickered once, then froze on static. The hum of the engines became the only sound echoing through the metal corridors. Commander Rion Hale stood still, staring at the screen that had moments ago displayed the words, "We see you." Lieutenant Mira Solon broke the silence first. "Commander, is it gone?" Rion didn't answer. His eyes stayed fixed on the darkness beyond the glass. He could see nothing, no stars, no light, no reflection. It was as if the universe itself had stopped breathing. Then slowly, faintly, the stars began to return one by one like eyes opening after a long sleep. "Power status?" Rion asked. "Shields are stable," one officer reported. "Weapons on standby, but sir, all communications are down." "We can't reach the fleet." Rion's jaw tightened. "Reboot the systems manually and run another scan. I want to know where that thing went." The crew worked quickly, hands flying over glowing panels. The scanners hummed, gathering data, but what appeared on the screen made no sense. "Commander," said Mira, "the object is still there, but it's not in front of us anymore. It's behind us." Rion turned sharply. "That's impossible. It can't move that fast without us seeing." Before he could finish, the lights dimmed again. The entire station shuddered, metal groaning under invisible pressure. A sound began to rise, low and mechanical like the deep roar of a massive engine echoing across space. Then came the pulse again. Thump, 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 louder this time, vibrating through every wall and console. The sound wasn't just in the air. It was inside their heads. Mira clutched her temples. "Commander, it's not sound. It's thoughts. I can feel it." "Keep it together, Lieutenant," Rion said, though his voice trembled slightly. "Whatever it's doing, we need to keep recording." Then, all at once, every monitor turned black. Words appeared again, and one sentence repeated across the entire room. "We watched you before you learned to look up." The room froze. No one breathed. The message pulsed in rhythm with the strange heartbeat echoing through the station. Rion felt his chest tighten. "Translate it," he said. "Already in standard, sir," the technician whispered. "It's speaking our language." Rion stared at the message, his mind racing. Who, or what, could send a signal across space directly into their systems, into their minds, and use their own language perfectly? The heartbeat stopped. The message faded. Then an image appeared and a small blue planet spinning slowly in darkness. It was Earth, the original home of humanity. Everyone in the command room stared. None of them had ever seen it in person. Earth had been abandoned thousands of years ago, when the Empire spread among the stars. The image zoomed in, showing the continents, the clouds, and then cities, but they were burning. "Is this a warning?" Mira whispered. Rion stepped closer to the screen. "No, this is history." The image shifted again. The cities rebuilt themselves, then changed into massive metal structures. growing until they covered continents. And then, the entire planet turned to light and disappeared. The message returned, this time not in text but in voice. It was cold and distant. Neither male nor female, more like many voices speaking at once. You reached beyond your place. You forgot what you were. You will remember. Rian felt a chill crawl down his spine. The crew looked to him for orders, but he couldn't speak. It was as if the air had turned to glass. Then the floor vibrated in a tremor that grew stronger every second. Outside the window, space itself began to ripple like water. The stars twisted, bent, and vanished, leaving only a single shape floating in the dark. It was a ship, or something like one. Enormous, silent, smooth as black glass. No lights, no engines, no visible structure. Just a vast, dark curve reflecting faint glimmers of starlight. Commander, the technician whispered, "It's the source of the signal." Rian could feel it watching them. He didn't know how he knew, but he could sense its focus, vast and ancient, pressing against his thoughts. "Activate shields. Keep weapons cold," he said. "We don't want to start something we can't end." "Sir, the shield, what about them?" "They're already at maximum, but not by us." The system activated itself. Rian's stomach sank. "It's controlling us." Before anyone could respond, the communication screen lit up. A face appeared, human but strange. Its features flickered, changing constantly as if made of light and shadow. When it spoke, its mouth didn't move. "We remember you." Rian forced himself to speak. "Who are you?" "The ones you lost. The ones you left behind." "Left behind," Rian repeated. "That's not possible. No humans were ever lost." "You forget too easily." The image broke apart into lines of code, then reformed into a new image. A fleet of ships surrounded by blinding light, vanishing into a tear in space. Project Ascend. The long-forgotten human experiment to reach beyond light. Rian whispered, "That can't be real. That project was erased from the archives. Erased from your memory. Not from ours." The entity's image flickered again. Every light in the room went out except one, the console before Rion. The voice grew softer. "You built empires and forgot your beginning. You looked to the stars and called yourselves gods. But even gods must face their makers." The transmission cut off. The command room fell into darkness again. Only the faint red glow of the emergency lights remained. "Commander," Mira said quietly, "what do we do?" Rion stared into the black window where the entity had appeared. He could still see faint shapes moving, almost like shadows drifting inside the void. "We wait," he said finally. "It came to us for a reason. I want to know what it wants." "Sir, with respect," Mira said, her voice shaking, "what if it wants us?" Rion didn't answer. Somewhere outside in the endless dark, the massive black ship began to move again. Slowly, silently, circling the station like a predator studying its prey. The hum of its energy filled the air, vibrating in their bones. Rion looked at the display one last time before turning to his crew. "Prepare a shuttle," he said. "We're going to see it up close." The room went silent. "Commander," Mira said in disbelief, "you can't mean—" "I do," Rion replied calmly. "If it wanted us dead, we'd already be gone. It's waiting for something. Maybe it's time we answered." As he walked toward the docking bay, the hum grew louder, echoing like a pulse through the corridors. The air felt heavier, thicker, almost alive. The moment the docking doors opened, Rian looked out into the stars. The black ship loomed larger than anything he'd ever seen. It was not made of metal. It was made of darkness itself. And as he stepped into his shuttle, a voice whispered in his mind again, cold and patient. "You will see what lies beyond your light." Then, for a brief second, the stars blinked out, and Commander Rion Hale vanished into the void. The shuttle drifted away from Observation Station 47, gliding silently through the endless dark. Commander Rian Hale sat in the pilot's chair, hands steady on the controls, though his pulse beat fast beneath his uniform. The giant station behind him shrank into a faint circle of light, while ahead loomed the thing that no sensor could fully describe. The black vessel. It didn't shine, it didn't pulse, it didn't move. It simply was. A shape that refused to reflect the universe around it. Even the stars seemed to bend away from its surface as if afraid to touch it. The shuttle's lights dimmed when pointed toward it, their beams swallowed whole. Lieutenant Mirasolin's voice crackled softly over the comm. Commander, we're tracking you. Are you getting readings yet? Rayon shook his head. Nothing. The scanners show I'm surrounded by empty space, but I can see it right in front of me. Sir, she said carefully, the object's energy field is expanding. Whatever it is, it's reacting to you. Rayon took a breath and stared at the black curve before him. Let it react. He moved the shuttle closer. The distance counter on his screen stopped updating, as if even numbers refused to measure the space between them. A soft vibration ran through the ship's hull. Then came the sound, a faint rhythm like a heartbeat, slower and deeper than before. The noise wasn't mechanical. It was alive. The closer he came, the clearer it became. Each thump sent small ripples through the shuttle's panels, as if something unseen were breathing in and out. The sound didn't come through the speakers, it came through the walls. Rayon switched on the recording system. Observation log, Commander Hale. Approaching unidentified entity. The object is not reflecting or emitting any energy that we can measure. Visual contact confirmed. No signs of hostility yet. He paused, glancing again at the dark horizon ahead. But it feels like it's watching me. The shuttle's lights flickered. The air seemed to grow heavier. His heartbeat matched the rhythm outside. Then a faint blue shimmer appeared on the vessel's surface, forming slow-moving patterns like liquid light flowing across stone. Rayon leaned forward. The patterns began to arrange themselves, circles, lines, and symbols, none of which belonged to any known language. They moved too smoothly, like living veins pulsing across the hull. Then, without warning, the shuttle's systems went dark. Rayon's screen blacked out. Every light inside the cabin died, leaving only the faint blue glow from outside. He tapped the console. Mira, do you read me? Station 47 responded, no answer. He tried the manual controls, but they were frozen. The shuttle drifted on its own toward the black vessel. All right, he muttered, gripping the chair. If you wanted me here, you have me. A faint hum filled the air, low and deep, almost like a voice speaking in a language he couldn't understand. The blue lights outside intensified, forming a shape directly in front of his window. A human silhouette made of light. It floated there, motionless, staring straight at him. Rayon's breath caught. Who are you? He whispered. The silhouette tilted its head slightly as if listening. Then the voice came again, not through the air but inside his head. We remember you. Rayon froze. It was the same voice that had spoken through the station earlier, calm, layered, and ancient. He swallowed hard. What do you want? To return what was taken. The words echoed through his thoughts. Images flashed behind his eyes, explosions, starships, and faces he didn't know. For a moment he wasn't in the shuttle anymore. He was standing in a white room filled with light, watching people in old-style uniforms working around a giant machine. A bright ring of energy spun before them and someone shouted, "We're breaking the barrier." Then everything went white. Rayon gasped and blinked. The vision vanished. The shuttle was still drifting. The black vessel was still there. The light silhouette now stood closer, almost touching the glass. He could see its face now, human but not entirely. The features shifted, melting between countless faces, men, women, children, as if all of humanity's memories were layered into one being. Project Ascend, Rayon said quietly. You were part of it, weren't you? The figure nodded slowly. We crossed beyond light. We became what we sought to understand. What happened to you? Time forgot us. The Empire erased the truth. The figure raised a hand and suddenly Rayon's console flared to life again. The screen displayed streams of data, star charts, records, images of ships long lost to history. Your empire built its throne upon our silence, the voice continued. Now silence ends. Rayon's throat went dry. Why now? Why reveal yourselves after all this time? Because you looked for us. Because you are ready to remember. The shuttle shook as a wave of energy passed through it. Rayon felt warmth spread through his hands, his skin glowing faintly under his gloves. His body felt weightless, almost transparent. You were meant to explore, the voice said softly. Not to rule. Rayon gritted his teeth. If you're human, help us understand. Don't just speak in riddles. Understanding is not given, the voice replied. It is earned. Then the light silhouette dissolved and a beam of white light shot from the vessel, surrounding the shuttle completely. The world turned white again. Rayon saw flashes, cities rising and falling, empires being born and destroyed. Generations of humans repeating the same mistakes. He saw the first explorers of Earth looking at the night sky full of hope. Then he saw them again centuries later, building weapons instead of ships. He felt every emotion, wonder, pride, greed, fear, blending together until he couldn't tell which was his own. When the light faded, the shuttle was gone from space. Mira's voice echoed faintly through static on the station. "Commander, come in. We've lost your signal." No one answered. Inside the black vessel, Rian floated in a bright chamber filled with shifting light. The walls pulsed like living skin. Around him were shapes, humanoid, transparent, made entirely of energy. They moved slowly, silently, watching him with eyes that held galaxies inside. Where am I?" Rian asked. A soft voice replied from all directions. "Inside the heart of what you forgot." He turned in circles, trying to understand. The shapes moved closer, forming a circle around him. One reached out, placing a glowing hand against his chest. A flood of warmth filled him, not painful, but overwhelming. "You are one of us," the voice whispered. "Still bound by time, still trapped in fear." Rian's vision blurred. "If I'm one of you, then what are you?" "We are what humanity could become if it remembered how to dream." The light around him intensified again. Somewhere far away, alarms blared on Station 47 as sensors picked up a surge of unknown energy from the black vessel. Inside that endless light, Rian heard the final whisper before losing consciousness. "When the stars forget their light, we will return." And then everything went silent again, except for that slow, endless heartbeat, echoing through the void. "You said—" When Rian opened his eyes, he wasn't sure if he was alive or trapped in some kind of dream. The world around him shimmered with soft white light, endless yet peaceful. He couldn't see walls or a ceiling, only waves of color that pulsed like gentle tides. It felt both infinite and intimate, as though he stood inside someone's living memory. He touched his chest. His suit was gone, replaced by a smooth, silver-like fabric that shimmered faintly with every movement. His body felt lighter, stronger. But when he looked down, he saw no shadow beneath him. There was no ground, just light holding him in place. Then he heard the voice again, the same calm, layered tone that had filled his thoughts before. "You are awake, Rian Hale." He turned around, but there was no one there. The air shimmered, and slowly a figure emerged from the light. It was the same luminous being he had seen before, its form half human and half energy. Rian frowned. "Where am I? What did you do to me?" "You are within the Echo Core," the being said softly. "The place where all who crossed beyond light once awakened." "Echo Core?" Rian repeated. "That sounds like a myth from the old records." "Myths," the being replied, "are the echoes of forgotten truths." Rian rubbed his temples. "I'm not here to discuss philosophy. My crew is waiting. I need to go back." The being tilted its head as if curious. "Back to what?" "To the station," he said, his voice sharp. "To my people. Your people have not changed. They fear what they do not control. If you return now, they will call you corrupted, infected by what they cannot name." Rian's jaw tightened. "Then I'll make them understand." The light being's eyes glowed faintly blue. "As we once tried." Those words struck him like a blade. You were human once, weren't you?" The figure nodded slowly. "We were explorers, dreamers, and seekers of truth. We left your world to reach the stars. And when we succeeded, we became something your kind could no longer recognize." Rian took a step closer. "You became this. Energy, light, consciousness without form." "We became free," the voice whispered. "Free from time, hunger, fear. But freedom has a cost." "What cost?" "Memory." The being's form flickered, showing flashes of faces, scientists, soldiers, children. "We forgot who we were. We remembered only the mission to explore what lay beyond. Until the Empire found our remnants and buried the truth beneath power and pride." Rian clenched his fists. "The Empire teaches that you vanished during the early jump experiments." "They erased us to protect themselves," the voice said. "Because our discovery proved that humanity could evolve without war, without control." Rian's heartbeat quickened. "If that's true, why show yourselves now? Why me?" The light pulsed brighter, filling the air with a warm hum. "Because you looked at the stars with the same question we once had. What lies beyond what we can see?" Rian felt a strange pull in his chest. The chamber around him shifted, showing holographic visions, Earth centuries ago covered in clouds and storms. Then starships launching, colonizing distant worlds. Then the rise of the Empire. Cities built on metal and silence. He saw the black vessel again, but this time from outside. Thousands of similar ships surrounded it, forming a massive web of light stretching across the galaxy. They looked alive like veins in a cosmic body. "We are the bridge," the being said. "We watch the flow of creation. But now something has begun to consume it." Rian turned sharply. "Consume it? A darkness born not from space, but from within your kind. It feeds on control, on fear, on the endless hunger to own what cannot be owned." "You mean the Empire?" "The Empire," the voice replied, "is the symptom. The disease runs deeper." Rian's mind raced. "Then help us stop it. You said we were the same once. Teach us how to fight it." The being moved closer until its light brushed his skin. "We cannot fight your battles for you, but we can give you what we once lost." It raised its hand and a spark of golden light appeared between its fingers. The spark expanded, forming a crystal-like sphere. Inside it swirled fragments of images. Humans walking among light beings, ships powered by thought, cities without pollution or war. "This is the memory seed," the being said. "It holds everything humanity forgot, the first truth of what it means to become more." Rian hesitated. "And you're giving it to me?" "To carry, to remember, to share when your people are ready." He reached out, and as his fingers touched the sphere, a surge of warmth shot through him. For a split second, he saw everything. The universe expanding, stars being born and dying, civilizations rising and falling. He saw humanity's endless struggle to reach higher. He saw love, loss, hope, and darkness all woven together in one unending pattern. When the vision faded, the sphere had vanished. But something inside him glowed faintly, a small pulse of light beneath his skin. "Now you carry the echo," the voice said. "Your thoughts will no longer be bound by fear." Rian staggered slightly, still dazed. What happens if I return to my people with this?" "They will not believe you. Not yet. But the truth will find its way through you." Rian looked around. "You're letting me go?" The being nodded. "You are not our prisoner, Rian Hale. You are our messenger." The light around him began to fade. The air trembled as a deep tone echoed through the chamber. "Remember this. The faster you move toward light, the closer you come to shadow. Balance is the key." The brightness dimmed until everything turned black again. Rian gasped and found himself back in his shuttle. The screens flickered, systems rebooting one by one. Outside, the black vessel floated silently as if nothing had happened. "Mira," he said, voice trembling, "do you copy?" Her voice came through, full of static. "Commander? You've been gone for over 3 hours. Your signal vanished completely." Rian glanced at the vessel. 3 hours? It felt like minutes. "Sir, are you all right? What happened in there?" He looked down at his hands. For a moment, they glowed faintly before fading back to normal. He swallowed hard. "I saw something impossible." "Do we have permission to log it, Commander?" Rian stared at the dark ship one last time. "No," he said quietly. "Not yet. The universe isn't ready for what's coming." The shuttle turned slowly, heading back toward Station 47. Behind him, the black vessel began to dissolve into the stars, fading like a dream slipping away at dawn. But deep inside Rian's chest, the faint light of the memory seed continued to pulse, waiting. The stars of the Thero system glimmered faintly as Commander Rian Hale's shuttle re-entered the outer perimeter of Station 47. The flight path shimmered with energy trails, and the soft mechanical hum of the ship was the only sound that broke the silence. Everything looked the same as before, calm, quiet, untouched. Yet Rian felt that nothing would ever be the same again. His fingers hovered over the control board. Every motion felt heavier now, like he was moving through time instead of space. Inside his chest, the faint warmth of the memory seed pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. It wasn't just energy. It felt alive, aware, listening. "Station 47, this is Shuttle Command 1, Rian said through the comm. "Requesting docking clearance." Static crackled, then Mira's familiar voice answered. "Copy that, Commander. We've been trying to reach you for hours." "What happened out there?" Rian hesitated before replying. "Just something I can't explain over comms." There was a pause, then Mira said quietly, "Understood. Docking Bay 3 is ready. Welcome home." As the shuttle drifted closer, the massive structure of Station 47 came into view, a metallic fortress floating in the endless dark. The moment the docking clamps locked, Rian took a deep breath and prepared himself. He wasn't sure what to tell them. He wasn't even sure what was real anymore. The hatch opened with a hiss. Mira stood waiting with a small team of officers, their faces lined with worry. She rushed forward the moment she saw him. "Commander, you vanished off sensors completely," she said. "We thought you were gone." "I was," Rian replied softly. "For a while." Mira frowned. "You mean the signal interference?" He shook his head. "No, something else." The officers exchanged confused looks. Rian waved them off. "Everyone back to duty. I need a private debrief with Lieutenant Solon." When the hangar cleared, Rian and Mira walked down the corridor toward the command deck. The metallic floor echoed beneath their boots. The silence between them was thick with questions Mira wanted to ask but didn't. Finally, she said, "You're not the same, are you?" Rian stopped and turned to her. His eyes seemed brighter, sharper. "No, I don't think I am." "What did you see out there?" she asked. He looked away, his voice calm but distant. "Something beyond light, beyond everything we've ever believed." Mira folded her arms. "That's not an answer," he sighed. "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me." "Not yet," she frowned. "Try me." Rian leaned against the wall, thinking carefully. "You ever wonder what happened to the first humans who tried faster-than-light travel? The ones who disappeared without trace? The official record says they were lost to hyperspace instability." "They weren't lost," Rian said quietly. "They changed. They became something else." Mira's brow furrowed. "You mean they evolved?" He nodded slowly. "Into beings of light. Conscious energy. They call themselves the Bridge. They were the first to go beyond the stars, and they never came back." Mira's expression softened into disbelief. "You're serious?" "I saw them," he said. "They're real. They exist outside our understanding of time. And they know what's coming." "What's coming?" Rian's voice dropped. "The Empire's collapse. The thing we built is feeding on itself. Control, fear, silence. They called it the inner darkness." Mira stepped closer. "And they told you all this?" "They didn't have to. I felt it. They gave me something. Knowledge, maybe a part of them." He opened his hand, and for a moment a faint golden light glimmered beneath his skin, like fire trapped under glass. Mira gasped softly. "What is that?" "The truth," Rian said simply. "And it's dangerous." Before she could reply, the command deck alarm blared. Red lights flashed through the corridor. A voice came over the intercom. "All hands to stations. Unknown energy signature approaching. Identical to the previous contact." Mira's eyes widened. "It's back." Rian felt his pulse quicken. "No," he said slowly. "Not the same one." They sprinted toward the control center. The massive observation screen flickered to life, displaying a swarm of glowing signals moving toward the station from deep space. Dozens of them. "Multiple unidentified vessels," the technician shouted. "No communication, no transponder codes. They're using faster-than-light acceleration. Impossible speed." Mira turned to Rian. "Is that them?" "The Bridge?" Rian watched the display. The lights moved in perfect harmony, not like a fleet but like cells of a living organism. "Yes," he whispered. "But they're not attacking." "Then what are they doing?" "Warning us." The technicians exchanged anxious looks. "Commander, one of the objects is broadcasting something, a frequency spike." "Put it on audio," Rian ordered. A deep hum filled the room, followed by a series of rhythmic pulses. Then a voice, faint, layered, and echoing, spoke through the static. "The shadow rises. The core trembles. The balance must be restored." Mira frowned. "What does that mean?" Rian stared at the screen. The swarm of lights began to orbit the station like guardians. Beyond them, a dark wave was forming, a distortion in the void spreading like smoke. "That," he said, "is the shadow they warned me about." The technicians gasped as the scanners flared with impossible readings. "It's eating the energy grid of the nearby moons. Gravitational distortion off the charts." Rian turned to Mira. "The Empire created this. Maybe not on purpose, but it's ours. How can we stop it?" Rian looked at his hands again. The light beneath his skin pulsed faster. "They gave us the key. We just have to remember." He closed his eyes and focused. The hum from the alien vessels grew louder, resonating with the faint glow in his chest. Suddenly, the ship systems flickered, not from malfunction, but from synchronization. The lights in the room began to pulse in the same rhythm as the alien signal. Mira stared at him. "What are you doing?" "Listening," Rian said. "They're trying to show us how to connect, how to stabilize the rift." The entire station vibrated as the shadow wave neared, swallowing stars like ink in water. Rian spread his hands and golden light flowed outward, merging with the station's energy field. "Commander," one of the officers shouted, "your energy signature is merging with the power core." "Let it," he said. "It's the only way." Mira reached for him. "Rian, stop! You'll burn out!" He looked at her with a calm smile. "If I do, tell them what we were meant to be." The golden light burst from the station, spreading into space like a sunrise. The swarm of alien vessels responded instantly, channeling their energy into the wave. Together they formed a vast, glowing network, a living shield that met the darkness head-on. The collision was silent, yet every soul on Station 47 felt it in their bones. Time seemed to pause. Then slowly the dark wave began to dissolve, retreating back into the void. The light faded, leaving behind only the cold stars. Rian collapsed, the glow in his chest flickering weakly. Mira caught him before he hit the floor. "You did it," she whispered. He managed a faint smile. "No, we did." As medics rushed in, the observation screen flickered one last time. The alien vessels were gone, but a single message lingered in the data feed. "Balance restored." "For now." Mira looked down at Rian's still body. The golden light inside him dimmed but didn't die. Somewhere in the depths of the Empire, a new dawn was beginning, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath for what would come next. The stars were quiet now. The void stretched endlessly beyond Station 47, calm still, too still. For a moment it seemed as though the galaxy itself was catching its breath after what had just happened. The shadow wave had retreated, leaving behind silence and fragments of light that shimmered across the hull like golden dust. But for Commander Rian Hale, silence was no comfort. He woke to the soft hum of the med bay. The ceiling above him glowed a dim blue, sterile and calm. His body felt heavy, like it had been rebuilt piece by piece. When he tried to move, pain rippled through his chest. Not from wounds, but from something deeper. Something alive inside him. Mira was sitting beside his bed, her uniform torn, her eyes red from exhaustion. The moment he stirred, she looked up. "You're awake," she said softly, relief washing over her face. Rian blinked a few times, his voice barely a whisper. "How long?" 17 hours, she replied. "You've been in stasis. The doctors couldn't explain what happened to your vitals. You were alive, but your heart stopped beating more than once." Rian closed his eyes, remembering the golden light, the pulse that had merged him with the station, with the bridge. "And the others?" Mira exhaled. "We lost some systems. Power grids in the outer sectors are still down. But we're alive. You saved the station, Commander." Rian sat up slowly, his expression distant. "Not for long." Mira frowned. "What do you mean?" He looked out through the glass window. The stars beyond shimmered faintly, but he could feel it. A tremor beneath reality, a whisper in the emptiness. "The shadow isn't gone. It's only hiding." Before Mira could reply, the door slid open and a tall officer entered. Admiral Carvin, the Empire's regional overseer. His cold silver uniform gleamed under the lights. His eyes were sharp, analyzing like a man who'd already made his judgment before asking a single question. "Commander Hale," Carvin said, his voice hard, "you've caused quite a disturbance." Rian met his gaze calmly. "You mean I saved your sector?" Carvin's lip curled. "The Empire doesn't reward unsanctioned contact with alien entities, especially ones that have tampered with classified systems." Mira stood. "Sir, with respect, without the commander, the entire station—" Carvin cut her off with a glare. "Lieutenant, I'm aware of your loyalty, but understand this. Unauthorized use of an unknown energy source, coupled with communication with non-human intelligences, constitutes treason under Article 47A of Imperial Command." Rian laughed bitterly. "So that's it? I stopped the galaxy from tearing itself apart and you call it treason?" Carvin stepped closer. "You think too small, Commander. You brought something back with you. Something the Empire cannot control. That makes you a threat." The lights in the medbay flickered for a moment, just like before. The faint golden glow under Rian's skin shimmered briefly, pulsing like a warning. Carvin noticed it immediately. "There, that energy signature. What is it?" Rion looked him in the eye. Hope, Carvin sneered. We'll see about that. He gestured to the guards at the door. Take him to Containment Deck 9, isolate him until further orders. Sir, Mira protested. You can't just— Lieutenant, stand down. Rion raised a hand weakly. It's all right, Mira. As the guards approached, he whispered, Do not interfere. Not yet. Mira's jaw clenched, but she obeyed. As they led Rion down the corridor, Carvin followed in silence. The containment deck was cold, metallic, empty, a place for things the Empire didn't understand. They sealed Rion inside a transparent field chamber. The hum of energy vibrated in the air, isolating him from everything. Carvin stood on the other side, hands behind his back. You've been touched by something dangerous, Commander. You carry technology the Empire cannot replicate. You will tell us everything you know, or we'll take it from you. Rion leaned against the wall, his voice quiet but firm. You can't take what you don't understand, Carvin smirked. We've made a career out of understanding the impossible. He turned to leave, but before he could, the lights dimmed again. A deep vibration filled the air, not mechanical but alive. The hum grew louder, resonating with the same rhythm that once came from the alien vessels. Carvin froze, his hand going to his communicator. What is that sound? He demanded. Rion smiled faintly. They're coming. The walls of the chamber shimmered with light, golden at first, then brilliant white. The containment field shattered like glass, its fragments evaporating into air. The guards stumbled back, shielding their eyes. When the light cleared, Rion was standing free, his eyes glowing softly. Carvin drew his blaster. Stay where you are. Rion looked at him calmly. You don't get it, Admiral. This isn't about power. It's about survival. The Empire built walls against the universe. The universe just broke them. Suddenly, every monitor in the station flickered. The same message appeared in glowing letters across every screen. The balance is broken. The shadow awakens. Mira's voice echoed over the intercom. Commander, the shadow wave is returning, bigger this time. It's consuming entire sectors. Carvin turned toward the control room, his arrogance replaced by panic. Impossible. We neutralized it. Rion stepped out of the wrecked chamber. No, you buried it. And the Empire's fear brought it back. He grabbed Carvin's arm, his touch glowing faintly. Listen to me, Admiral. You can't fight this with weapons. You have to let go of control. Carvin tried to pull away, but his hand froze. For a moment, he saw flashes, memories that weren't his. He saw ancient humans crossing the stars, the birth of the bridge and the endless hunger of the shadow. When he staggered back, his face was pale. What did you show me? The truth, Rion said softly. Now choose. Stand with the Empire or stand with humanity. Carvin hesitated. His lips trembled, but before he could answer, the entire station shook violently. The shadow wave was here. A vast black storm swirling outside, swallowing stars and light. Rion turned toward the observation window. They're giving us one last chance. Mira's voice came through again, urgent. Commander, what do we do? Rion closed his eyes. The light inside him pulsed brighter than ever. We connect. Everyone. Link the station's main power to the communication grid. Trust me, Carvin hesitated. Then for the first time he nodded. Do it! The crew worked fast. The hum of the engines rose as the station's core synchronized with Rion's energy. He placed his hands on the command console and golden light spread through the metal, reaching every deck, every system. Outside the shadow wave loomed, a living darkness stretching across the stars. But as the light from Station 47 expanded, the alien vessels reappeared, surrounding the station like guardians once more. Rion's voice echoed through the intercom. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Remember who we are, not soldiers, not slaves, not rulers. Humans. The light exploded outward, merging with the alien fleet's energy. Together they formed a radiant network stretching across the system. The shadow howled, twisting and recoiling, unable to feed on the unity it had never known. Then silence. The darkness shattered. The stars returned. Rion fell to his knees, drained but smiling. Mira rushed to his side. You did it, she whispered. No, he said weakly. We finally remembered. Outside the station, the light lingered for a few moments longer, painting the galaxy in gold, a message to every world that the age of fear was ending. The Empire would rebuild. The universe would heal. But deep in the void, A faint heartbeat still echoed, a reminder that the balance between light and shadow was never permanent. And among the stars, legends would soon speak of the man who touched the light, Commander Rian Hale, the first human to go beyond the reach of time and return. A bridge between what was and what was yet to come.